We rented an RV as a family to go to Cooperstown, New York, Baseball Hall of Fame. We went to a truck stop and then back into the RV, pulled out of the truck stop, and was merging onto the highway when my son tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Dad, where's Mom?" I'd left her at the truck stop.
Oh no, that's like a scene out of Vacation. Welcome back to the Bobcast. I'm your host, Bob Riney, President and CEO of Henry Ford Health, and I am thrilled to have you joining us today. Jeff Daniels is one of the most accomplished and versatile actors of his generation. Over the past 4 decades, he's built an extraordinary career across film, television, and the stage, delivering unforgettable performances in everything from comedy classics to powerful dramatic roles. Many people remember him from films like Dumb and Dumber, The Martian, and Terms of Endearment, or from his Emmy-winning performance as Will McAvoy in HBO's The Newsroom. But Jeff is more than just a remarkable actor. He's also a playwright, a musician, and a proud Michigander who chose to build his life and his creative work right here in our state. In 1991, he founded the Purple Rose Theater Company in his hometown of Chelsea, creating a place where new voices, new stories, and new talent could grow. He's also a passionate Detroit sports fan, a storyteller and a guitar player, and someone who has never lost sight of where he came from. And for us, a great source of pride is he's the voiceover in our most recent campaign, Where We Live.
This is what we live for, because this is where we live.
Good morning.
We are Henry.
Jeff, thank you so much for being on the Bobcast.
Thanks, Bob. Glad to be here.
I wanted to start off with just a question about your choice to be a lifelong Michigander. You've lived here most of your life. Many of the people in your profession call other places in the country home. Why was staying here so important to you?
It's always been home. And even when I was in New York, an actor friend of mine, when I told him that I was thinking about moving back to Michigan, he goes, "You've had one foot in Michigan the whole time you were in New York City." Kathleen's from Marquette. You know, we were both from Michigan, and we had a kid, and we had a couple more. And it was a great place to, plant the family. Metro Airport was only 45 minutes away. So I would just operate out of there until the career ended. I just figured that when it was over, I'd already be home.
I didn't know your wife was from the UP. Do you spend much time up there?
We go up once a year. She still has family in Marquette. I enjoy it up there. It's a part of Michigan that not everybody goes to. It's nice to be somebody who's been in the UP and appreciates it.
But let's get back to your career. I'm sure you've been asked this a million times, but the diversity of the roles that you've played are pretty significant compared to a lot of actors. Do you have any particular favorites?
They're all your children, but the ones that I had to work hard at or took the biggest risk doing are probably the ones that stand out. Playing Chamberlain in Gettysburg, I worked real hard on that. And he, discovered him as this great unsung American hero of the Civil War.
We are an army out to set other men free. America should be free ground. All of it. Not divided by a line between slave state and free. All the way. From here to the Pacific Ocean.
I still cherish some of the performances with the people there. Kevin Conway, C.T. Howell. We played brothers, so we got out there to rehearse, and the Union guys kind of all stuck together, and the Confederate guys all kind of went with Tom Berenger. And the Confederate guys were shooting their stuff in the first 6 weeks. They were rehearsing together and going out to restaurants in downtown Gettysburg, wearing their uniforms and speaking in their Alabama or Georgia or Tennessee accents. And Tom Berenger looked at me, he said, what are you and Tommy Howell doing? Are you getting ready? Because you better be ready, because we're going to be ready. Suddenly it was like we're doing the actors' Civil War. And I said, well, Tommy and I got a tea time tomorrow at 7 a.m. at the Carroll Valley Public Golf Course. Does that count? And we played golf for 3 weeks. We'd rehearse and then we'd go hit the links. We're playing brothers, and it was a great way to kind of get to know him. He's a friend still today.
Did political movies find you, or political performances, or did you find political performances?
They came to me. If you're playing somebody on the left, that's what you play. Those are his politics. If you're playing someone on the right, you play his politics. Will McAvoy, in the third episode of the first season of Newsroom, I found out McAvoy was a Republican.
Do you think about today, with the political environment we're in, how reflective Newsroom was at the time for some of the challenges that we find ourselves in?
Yes, but that's Sorkin. Aaron Sorkin surrounds himself with really intelligent, politically astute people. He has people in Washington that he gets on the phone when he's writing an episode of whether it's West Wing or whether it's Newsroom. He's very well sourced as to what really goes on, what could happen, what couldn't happen. And then he sits down and writes from that. It can make an impact. The speech that he wrote for Will McAvoy in the first episode of the first season, about where McAvoy is asked, what makes America the greatest country in the world?
Sure used to be. We stood up for what was right. We fought for moral reasons. We passed laws, struck down laws for moral reasons. We waged wars on poverty, not poor people. We sacrificed. We cared about our neighbors. We put our money where our mouths were, and we never beat our chest. We built great big things, made ungodly technological advances, explored the universe, cured diseases, and we cultivated the world's greatest artists and the world's greatest economy.
The speech was not in the script. Initially, the pilot episode, it was just something that we referred to as having happened. And then about a week or so before we started shooting that first episode, Aaron came up and he said, we need to see what happened at Northwestern when you went off. We can't just talk about it. So I'm going to write you a speech. You'll have it in a couple of days. I said, okay. So he handed that to me about a week before we started shooting. And he said, can you learn this? Because, it wasn't short. And I said, Aaron, I've been waiting 35 years for someone like you to hand me a speech like this.
First step in solving any problem is recognizing there is one. America is not the greatest country in the world anymore.
I just went to work on it, and I knew it was important to the show. If I hit a home run with the speech, just performing it, acting it, then we probably had a series and I probably had a job.
That particular episode and that scene just is imprinted in my memories, because the words chosen and the way it was delivered and the timeliness of that message, you hit a trifecta with that.
There aren't many playwrights who write with the rhythm that Aaron Sorkin writes. If you look at his speeches, whether it's Marty Sheen and West Wing or any of those folks, once they get on top of a Sorkin speech, it's not like singing a song, but you are writing a rhythm. Richard Schiff told me that it's not a rhythm, it's a melody. He was right. Once you've learned it, oh, there it is, there it is. The writing leads you to where you go. That just makes you want to just get on top of it and, let it fly even more, which is what happened on that day that I did the speech.
One of the things that I've watched is you take a leadership role in many ways on many issues through your career. Tell me about Jeff Daniels, the leader.
Well, it's a dicey thing, Bob, because nobody really wants to hear celebrities' opinions about anything. It's more about being, I think, on the right side of history. I don't think it's just a political issue and whatever's going on with the politics of today. It's social media, and it's a lot of things that are way beyond me to understand. There are things that I miss. There's a simplicity to life. There's a common decency. For all of us, the rule of law, things that are sacred. I grew up with parents who believed in certain things, and they weren't outlandish and they didn't hurt other people. Now that I'm in my 70s, I just kind of fall back and go, well, okay, don't say I didn't, say a few things, and at least let my grandkids know what side of the fence I'm on.
Tell me a little bit about this new movie that you have coming out soon that portrays the Reykjavik summit during the Cold War. First of all, what is it like being in Iceland? I'm heading there next year myself. Tell me about the house where the real summit took place.
This was a script that came to me. One of the writers on Newsroom who would kind of help Aaron get the story up, and then Aaron would go write it. A kid named Michael Gunn. He had a script about the summit. 1986, Reagan and Gorbachev met in Reykjavik in this house to try to lower the nuclear weapon war. Both countries had way too many nuclear weapons. And when Reagan became president, he asked the people in the bunker in Colorado, what happens if Moscow launches a strike? How do we defend ourselves? And they said, well, sir, we have 25 minutes to launch a counterstrike. We can't stop the incoming? No. So it's mutual assured destruction. So Reagan called this meeting with Gorbachev, and Gorbachev is open to it. So we shoot it in the same house, same room, same furniture, same artwork. The people of Reykjavik have embraced this house as this wonderful moment of peace. They've maintained it. So to go in there and work with people like J.K. Simmons, who played George Shultz, and Jared Harris, who came in with that great Gorbachev, we just recreated that weekend. I worked on it for 7 months. I had to get Reagan. So I listened to Reagan for 7 straight months in my headphones. You don't want to do like a dead-on impersonation or put a bunch of plastic on your face so you can't recognize me. You want to suggest him enough that the audience hears or feels or sees him inside you. You're trying to pull the audience in. So you get enough of the voice, and the key word for me was, well, the way he would say, well, and then his head would dip and his chin would go out. Well, and just kind of ride it after that. So it was a lot of work, and I had a lot of lines to learn on that one. So we went over there and we shot it in 3.5 weeks.
With the versatility that you have brought to your professional life, live theater, movies, music, TV shows, is there any one genre that brings you the most joy?
I enjoy them all. Otherwise, I wouldn't do it anymore. The thing that comes most naturally, that is the most fun, that is the most creative for me, is walking out with the acoustic guitar and sitting in a chair and going, good evening, and doing the one-man show. I write all the stuff. I talk to the audience. So it's all, if there's a script, it's kind of like a musical. It's a book, scenes, song, book, song, book, song, book, song. I'm the director, I'm the writer, I'm the editor, I'm everything.
Has the song Road Signs been the one that's been most impactful on your musical journey?
That one means a lot to me.
2 5-year-olds are fighting a gun battle in the aisle.
There are songs that are very funny that are part of the show as well. I have a song called Recreational Vehicle. It's like a talking blues.
I don't think you can call yourself a real American until you've been behind the wheel of a recreational vehicle.
And it's the story of, we rented an RV as a family to go to Cooperstown, New York, Baseball Hall of Fame. We went to a truck stop and I got recognized as Jeff Bridges. And then back into the RV, pulled out of the truck stop and was merging onto the highway when my son tapped me on the shoulder and said, Dad, where's Mom? I'd left her at the truck stop.
Oh no, that's like a scene out of Vacation. Well, I really appreciate your time. I know on behalf of the 51,000 employees of Henry Ford Health and all of our listeners, we are glad you're a Michigander. We're glad you have a voice that matters, and we're glad that you've had the courage to use it. We're just really grateful.
Well, thanks, Bob. Appreciate it.
Jeff was a great person to get to know through this Bobcast. I've admired the versatility of his career and how much he is called on to be a leader in different forums, in different ways. And in many ways, that's what all of us in leadership and all of us, whether we work in healthcare or under industries, are called upon as well. What you really see in him is depth of thinking and depth of delivery. This is not someone that does anything superficially. And I think his answers to some of the questions that I posed are just a perfect reflection of what he brings to the table in everything he's called upon to do. Until next time, take care and keep making a difference.